जय हिंद दोस्तों, मैं हूं मेजर मोहम्मद अली शाह and today I'm truly honored. I have a very illustrious personality, someone who needs no introduction. But customarily, if I still have to speak a few lines, I will tell you, and I am even more delighted because rare is a time, is a fact when you meet somebody who matches your frequency, your energy level, the same synergy. And my goodness, you feel that you've known that person forever. It happens, right? So let me tell you about Professor KDS Bedi. He did his schooling from one of the best schools in India, the Punjab Public School, Nabha, which has a tradition of sending many boys to the National Defense Academy. In fact, our former Army Chief, General Bikram Singh, he was Professor Bedi's senior by a few
Senior,
years.
12
Yes,
years, yeah.
yes, sir. And a lot of illustrious officers PPS Nabha has produced. Professor Bedi went on and did his management from IIM Ahmedabad, a dream for all of us, for many of us to go. A place I didn't go, but I was very fortunate. I went to IIM Calcutta, all right. Let me tell you, Professor Bedi has worked in the top echelons of the corporate sector with the top multinationals of the world, such as PepsiCo, Coca Cola, which is considered to be the biggest brand in the world, with Mercedes Benz. Professor Bedi ventured on into academics, into the education field, where he was the vice president at the Chitkara University for almost a decade. Almost a decade. Thereafter, he came. He's joined now the lovely professional university. He's been there for 5 months plus. He joined this year in January as a professor, head of training and development. And what a fine, illustrious career, sir. What an inspiration. And what a well-read personality and so articulate. One of my favorite speakers. Sir, Jai Hind, and thank you very much for spending time for us, sir.
Thank you so much, Jai Hind, and so delighted to be here on the show of Major Ali Shah. Indeed, my privilege and honor to be here today, speaking live on this channel of yours. It's amazing. And first of all, I must compliment and congratulate you for the brilliant work that you do. Indeed, you are an inspiration for many, and absolutely a delight to be here this Sunday morning. Very good morning to all, and you've been extremely kind to introduce me. The way you've done. I come from the corporate sector, having worked in top 3 multinationals, which are more than 100 years old: Coca-Cola, PepsiCo, and Mercedes-Benz. The journey had been amazing. The learnings were phenomenal. And these 3 multinationals are, time tested, country tested, evolution, training and development. They get the best of the people, they empower people. And I was extremely fortunate while being in PepsiCo. I was having Rajiv Bakshi as our country head, who was again my senior at
In
Punjab
school,
Public
sir.
School, Nabha.
That's right,
and
sir.
and Indra Nui was the world head at PepsiCo headquarter in New York. So
This
have
would be
had
my
the
super senior
privilege.
from IIM
Yeah,
Calcutta, sir.
yeah. For she too, yes. And it was indeed a privilege to work with stalwarts of industry like Indra Nui and Rajiv Bakshi. General Bikram Singh, my school senior, 12 years senior to me, again happens to be from PPS Naba. I have been extremely fortunate to be very closely associated post his retirement, where he is now settled in Mohali, and I have had the privilege of inviting him 3 times at our university where I was working previously. And it's such an inspiration. It is so much of motivation that we draw from these personalities, who have done phenomenally well in their life, and having seen them rising from the basics, like if I go into the background of people, they were so humble. They were introverts initially. When we talk to our old school teachers, at PPS, I was told that General Vikram Singh, while he was admitted in PPS, Naba, in class 5th, he was such an introvert child, and though he was extremely talented in drawing art or something, which his teacher then observed, and the kind of encouragement that teacher gave him, the kind of opportunity that he got to participate in debates and declamations was a turning point in the life of such people. And they grew up to face the challenges of the corporate or the military leadership and all that, and emerged as the strongest leaders. And he became the army chief. So learning from somebody as great as him, learning from Rajiv Bakshi, as great as a corporate honcho, who worked in Lakme, who worked in Cadbury's, who also worked in Hindustan Unilever, and ultimately became PepsiCo India head. Not only India, but South East Asia, for that matter, Indian subcontinent, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Nepal was also under his leadership. And when you have spent most of your time with people like them, you draw so much of inspiration. There is so great deal of learning that probably 10 MBAs also may not teach you that. It's a live learning. It's problem solving. It is situation handling. It is man management. It is your leadership ability, which is tested every moment. It is your management skill. It is your innovation. It is your initiative. It is thinking out of the box. It is being recognized in circles of excellence. Your oratory skills, your eloquence skills, motivating the teams, sales and leadership, sales and marketing. And I have been extremely fortunate to be associated with such people in my life. And over and above, my own passion to connect with people. Sales and marketing has been my forte. And sales and marketing is itself a platform which enhances your personality. It teaches you the way to connect. It teaches you to portray your best, be it your physical self, be it your killer sense of dressing, be it your opening the speech, be it inspiring the audience or connecting well with people. वो पंजाबी में कहते हैं ना, वो टिड च वड़ जाते हैं. Sales people, they connect so well with people, though they may have an objective of selling some product or service. However, they build rapport first, and they connect well, and then they talk business. So Major Ali, I am also inspired at your transformation, coming from army, being son of again an army officer, a veteran, and also an academician of what you told me, your father, and doing something so innovative like this. There are hundreds and thousands and lakhs of majors in Indian Army, and they're so very proud of their service in Army. However, your lead in this, your entry into this social media where you're empowering people, you are talking with who's who in the corporate world. You are talking with Army Wives Welfare Association. You're speaking with journals, the military leaders, the corporate leaders, the innovators. Is something amazing indeed and brilliant. And I must congratulate you for this splendid work that you're doing in this era of social media, and that too, particularly after being hit by COVID for last 2 years, where the whole mankind, not only in this country, however, the globe across was hit badly through an unprecedented, unparalleled distress ever seen by mankind. At least in my lifespan, this was the first time that I was seeing 2 years of turmoil, distress, uncertainty, death at such close quarters, where almost every family lost its precious members, closed ones. We saw such uncertainty and such danger from close quarters. However, there is a silver lining to every dark cloud. There are blessings in disguise. However large we may have suffered losses, but we are sure to rebound back. What I see today on May 15th, there is again a lot of passion, there is a lot of enthusiasm, there is a lot of activity happening. People want to get out of house. People want to rejoice. I was invited to a get-together last evening. It was jam-packed. It was more the capacity of its banquet hall. That's the kind of spirit that we enjoy as humans. We have suffered in the past as well. However, our ability to fight back, our ability to rebound, our ability to manage danger and overcome danger is stronger than anything that this God or the Almighty has bestowed upon us. And let me assure you that we are going to do every bit to empower every individual who crosses path with us, who gets in touch with us, be it students. I teach marketing and sales, and we need to empower people, particularly now at this moment of time where everybody is looking to uplift, to upskill, and to become more powerful than what it was about 2 years back. Thank you, Major Ali, for the phenomenal work that you do. Congratulations.
Such a powerful orator, such a deadly speaker. I mean, I trust you, me. I had goosebumps when you were speaking. I was left speechless. I was totally mesmerized and hypnotized. I was like, wow, wow, sir. I mean, when you speak, you spoke about leadership. Sir, the true quality of a leader is being a great orator. I mean, you have the power when you speak, you can influence anyone's mind. And you spoke about sales and marketing. Sir, sales and marketing is बहुत छोटी है. What you can influence, the potential that you have. Oh my goodness, sir. And let me tell you one more thing, sir. Sir, rare is a speaker who impresses me and influences me the way you have done, sir.
Thank you so much. The pleasure is indeed mine. Thank you. Thank you, Major Ali.
Tremendous, sir. Sir, tell me one thing. As your school days from PPS Nama, how were you as a student and how were you in your extracurriculars, like, debates, one-act plays, sports? How were you overall as a student, sir?
Yeah. See, it was indeed a privilege again, as I said, to be in one of the leading public schools in the country and particularly in the north, PPS was initially started as a scenic school. However, with a vision of late Sardar Pratap Singh Karon, who was then the Chief Minister of Punjab, a very renowned politician and a visionary who gave Bhakra Nangal Dam and PGI to Chandigarh and Bhakra Nangal Dam to Punjab and all that, a visionary. He tried to turn it into a multifarious institution where not only army, but otherwise also, people could look for careers of excellence. So having been given a chance to study in such an elite public school, my interest in studies was quite high, because the kind of promise that I did to my parents with all their sacrifice to put me into a boarding school was great, and it was my mom's dream to send me to one of the best public schools. She wanted me to emerge as a strong leader in whatever profession that I would choose later. I was academically very bright, and something very interesting that used to happen then at PPS was that every month we used to have monthly exams. And the result of those monthly exams, would declare position 1, 2, and 3 in every class. It was, let us say, 5th A, 5th B, 5th C, or 6th A, B, C, or whatever. So the 3 stoppers of any class would come on the stage during assembly and sign an honors book, which was declared by the principal. So n number of times I went on to the stage to sign that honors book, academic honors book, but for standing either first, second, or third in the class, every month. So, and I would send that honors book report to my parents, who would be delighted. One. So academically, that was my promise to my parents, that I would always excel in studies, and that put me into an extra pressure. Then, I'm talking about it was seen as a pressure then, because suddenly you come to a convent school, or you come to a public school where everything is in English medium, and before that you have studied in Punjab, where Punjabi or other Hindi or could be your subject that you study otherwise. So it was a sudden transition from Punjabi to English, and doing all subjects in English, and I had to put in extra effort, and also I had to burn the midnight oil to study extra hard to get those positions which I had promised to my parents, and I fulfilled my promise, very, very proudly, for that matter. But the turning point came when I was in class 7th. My English teacher found me that over and above my academics, I could speak well. Through my interaction in the classroom, the kind of answers that I would give. I was very good in arithmetic, mathematics, of course. That is driven by some logic, that I loved maths, and I loved maths till my even post graduation also. Logically I was sound that way, analytically and all that. But the turning point came when my English teacher found me speaking well, and my sound being, and my voice being little heavy, which could influence the listener. So in the whole school, he found me fit to send me to inter-public school English debate. And it was in class 7th in 1975, way back, 47 years back. And he sent me to Pilani in Rajasthan. There's a Birla school, Pilani, where all India English debate was held. And to my utter surprise, I was the youngest there amongst the participants who were taking part in that all India public school English debate. There was as senior as 10th class students and the 9th class, and I was in class 7. And I was a runners up with 3rd position. And the participation was amazing. There were more than 40 participants in that. So that gave me an extra confidence, an extra push to be so confident to be speaking in front of the faculty, the audience, the management of Birla School, and young, beautiful girls, and that changed my personality altogether. Coming back from Pilani, then I was a debater, a declamation contest holder for many years. I was a school prefect. And any opportunity, small or big, that was given. I was made the MC for most of the functions happening there. So oratory, your ability to speak is so powerful that it can single you out from the crowd. Academically, I may be 90 percentile holder. I could be the topmost doctor. I could be the best architect in any town for that matter. However, if I can't speak well, all my talent, my skills are hidden. I draw inspiration from our Honorable Prime Minister.
Oh, yes.
Shri Narendra Modi ji, the way he speaks. Maybe in Hindi for that matter. It may not be in English. The way he touches the chord. Recently he was in Germany, about 5 days back. The standing ovation. The connect. वो जो जोड़ते हैं ना chord is through his speech.
Yes, sir.
And this is what your speech can do.
And
So
his
powerfully
speech
for
in
you.
Germany with the German Chancellor, Mr. Orlov, was very, very clear, sir. And he said very clearly कि जंग में किसी का फायदा नहीं होता, कोई जीता नहीं है, सबको नुकसान ही है.
Yes.
And you are so right. You're so right. Sir, oratory is something, when I was a small child, I would stammer, stutter, lisp. In fact, when I was in class 7th, I went up on stage and forgot my lines. And I said, this is something I need to work on. And just like you, sir, I was very happy. It was my honor to have wonderful teachers who worked with me.
Yes.
And so today, the boy who couldn't speak at all, today he holds a record for having given the highest number of TEDx talks in the world.
Oh, that's amazing.
Thank
That's
you,
amazing. Phenomenal. See, there is a mentor. There is somebody who has to look into. It could be your parents. It could be a friend of yours. It could be mostly it is teachers or your faculty, who has to look into that extra spark in you. And believe you me, everybody, including each and every child, the student, has that something hidden. You got to bring out that talent. There has to be somebody who has to look into this, inspire, motivate, and polish the way a diamond is done through a carbon particle. That's the spirit.
So you spoke about the COVID times in the beginning, sir. In these difficult times when people were actually, sir, I must share this with you. This is something very interesting. It will be of interest to you since you are an academician and you are heading this university, sir. In the COVID times, where on one hand, universities, colleges, schools were all closing down. They were all turning indoors. Coffee shops, malls, cinema halls, theaters were all closing down. They were suffering losses. On the other hand, I also knew of companies which were making profits, multifold profits. And which companies were these? These were the digital companies, the online companies, the pharma companies. They were making hay while the sun shines. So I opened this online public speaking academy, sir. And you spoke about communication. I gave how important communication is. And, sir, it was online. It made the world a smaller place. So people from US, UK, Canada, New Zealand, Australia to different continents could connect with me very easily. And we started doing online. In the pandemic, sir, I did online theater. 2 films of mine released on OTT platform as an actor.
Oh, wow. Brilliant.
Thank you, sir. I started this online public speaking academy online. So it really pandemic that way I made. What did I do? I basically converted an adversity into an opportunity.
How true.
Yes, sir.
See, God has his unique ways to balance things, On one hand, industry like hospitality, aviation, and so forth were closed, while banking, digital platforms, IT, healthcare, pharma made fortunes. And that's the way God balances the whole platform, you see. But then we need to be so strong in our mental process, in our thinking process, I would call, that nothing should ever challenge us to stop. Even God wants us to, probably He's testing our will, testing our ability to move beyond the threshold of struggle. And I'm sure there are many heroes who are born. Even my own example, as you said, I was on LinkedIn for practically 10 years and I had hardly used it. The earlier 10 years, hardly used it, almost never. But 25th of March, 3 days after the lockdown was declared on March the 22nd, 2020, I put my first post on LinkedIn on 25th. And it had almost 80,000 views. My first post. And that was a game changer. There is no looking back. It inspires me. I have learned so much, in social media in last 2 years. That I'm a self-created, curated, motivated individual. I do not seek help from any expert in the social media domain. There are companies, there are agencies, there are experts who are charging exorbitant amount to teach you how to improve your social appearance. Well, I am who's absolutely self-learned.
So you
in
can
my
teach
own
them.
in my own space. I walk down the street and people tell me that it's not only you, sir. I not only you, but the whole family behind you, we know. We know that your son is an actor in making. We know that your son is a software engineer in Canada. We know that you are working in this university. We know that your daughter flies for Qatar Airways.
Wow.
We know that this is your passion to be in sales and marketing. This is what we know, that you give a speech here. You gave a speech there. You want to connect with people. And that is so rewarding and so exciting. That puts you into a lot of, good homework that you do to put in again the best. People wait and tell me that we are waiting for your next post, sir. It's 3 days that since you posted the last, social media post. So we're looking forward to the next one. So this is the kind of connect that you build, and economy at its best, width at its best, penetration at its best, global reach, sitting from the comfort of your home. You can't imagine to be in this era of technology or existence or management. One cannot imagine. I cannot imagine better times than these. Where I'm again on a Sunday morning.
You and Jalandhar, I'm in Delhi, and here we are conversing with each
Sunday
other like this.
Sunday morning, we are sitting from the comforts of our home, and the world is watching us. Major Ali, it's again something unimaginable. I couldn't have imagined about 3 years back. I couldn't have imagined about 5 years back. And this is the power of technology. This is the power of internet. This is the power of the social media.
So when I was
Amazing.
training for the army, we had read on the board, when the going gets tough, the tough gets going.
How true.
But I would say in the pandemic, I would say, especially inspired by you, so I would say, when the going gets tough, the tough gets online. So, and
how true an app. Yes.
for difficult times, for people who actually, everyone had a setback somewhere or the other in the pandemics. But when things go wrong, as they sometimes will, when the road you are trudging seems all uphill, when the funds are low and the debts are high, and you want to smile but have to sigh, when care's pressing you down a bit, rest if you must, but don't you quit. Life is square with its twists and turns, and all of us sometimes learn. And many a person turns about when he might have won, had he stuck it out. So don't quit. Though the pace seems slow, you may win with another blow.
How inspirational. How inspirational. Absolutely wonderful.
Often
Each
a
each word that you have, used in this beautiful poem, which inspires me too,
thank you,
is
sir.
worth the salt. You know,
Thank you, sir.
this is
Often,
what I do. This
often a
is what I
struggle.
do. Reading books, looking into powerful YouTube videos. This is our mental food.
Yes,
You know, the
absolutely, sir.
because we need food for our physical existence, but we
Absolutely, sir.
all the more need mental food for our beautiful existence.
Absolutely, sir. So
You know,
often a struggler has given up when he might have captured the victor's cup,
how true.
and he
That's
learned too late when the night came down how close he was to the golden crown. Success is failure turned inside out, the silver tint in the clouds of doubt. And you never can tell how close you are. It might be near when it seems afar.
oh my goodness.
So stick to the fight when you're hardest hit. It's when things seem worst. You must not quit. What
Must not quit. Never quit. Keep trying. See,
absolutely
Lawrence School Sanar has its motto as never give in.
never
Never
give
quit.
in. So I
Yeah.
am from Lawrence School, Lovedale, and Sanar
Okay.
is a six sister school. It just
Yes.
finished 175 years. And that is, so you are so right. So Lawrence Sanar and Lawrence Lovedale, we have a strong bonding. We used to
Yes.
have the exchange programs. In fact, PPS Naba also was one of them. We
Yeah.
all used to
All
compete.
India, All India Inter School Public, All India Inter School Association. Right.
Right, sir. Sir, sir, बहुत मजा आ रहा है, sir. I'm loving it. Speaking to you, so much to learn
Every
from
bit of
you.
it. Every bit I'm enjoying.
That's
So
very
very
kind of
blessed.
you.
And thanks for the opportunity,
No, sir,
Major Ali.
thank you for consenting, sir. Sir,
Oh no.
tell us about your experience at IIM Ahmedabad. You must have learned a lot, and it's a dream of every child who wants to do MBA. First thing comes to his mind is IIM Ahmedabad. Then, of course, बाद में कहीं पे यहाँ पे जाएंगे वहाँ पे जाएंगे करके. So tell us about your stint with IIM Ahmedabad, sir.
Yeah, see, I went to IIM Ahmedabad to do an long executive program in management. Long executive program spread over a year. This is a temple of highest learning in management. It's also the most aspirational destination or management institute in the country. And they have lived up to the level of its vision, and also the forefathers who thought to create that. My learnings has been my learning has been extremely brilliant, I would call. The kind of discipline while we were there, and I was very fortunate to be into a group which was of 25 batchmates, I call it, and 5 of them were IAS officers from
Okay.
different states, and 8 of them were IPS officers. So more than 10, or rather 12 out of those were the cream in the administrative or police services in the country. The remaining 13 were corporate sponsored. Even these IAS and IPS officers were also sponsored by Government of India from the Department of Human Resource Management, HDR. So it was a unique group, and there was a lot of learning between the groups. There was learning outside the groups from the management. I mean, the kind of discipline, because if the time was 8:30 entering into a class, the whole institute, be it undergraduates or postgraduates or whatever, or executive education, they make sure that once the door closes of the classroom, nobody can enter post that. So though everybody is found running in the morning after breakfast, 8:30 means 8:30. For all this 1 year, you are structured into a very, very regimental, a regimen or something, of a very disciplined environment. One. The second learning was your group learning. You were made into small groups and you were given activities and projects. You were not fed too much of information. You were left to explore information, research. And we were found sitting during the midnights, do raat ke 3 baj rahe hain, because the project would have its deadline while your group is deliberating upon. And वो एक group में 3 IAS officer हैं, 2 IPS हैं, 3-4 ladies हैं. And that is so exciting to and there is there is excellence, brilliance, mindset working together in every respective way. An IPS officer could think of security, challenges and all that, from that angle. An IAS officer could be giving an input of administrative. A corporate person could be giving a practical shape in the corporate or the civil world, So learning was it was multi-channeled learning. One. It's not only, if you are in army, probably you are only in army as long as you are serving, unless you are subjected for your, some courses outside. But here was an opportunity that every input was cross-sectional, was multifarious. Disciplined approach and brilliance of academic excellence. You have teachers, you have academicians who have proven their worth, who are the best, who are the cream. The kind of study that we used to have in the classroom, learning from the examples of Nelson Mandela, being in the prison for 27 long years, but nobody could break him mentally, Even in the confines of the cell that he was put into for those 27 long years, the kind of positivity, the kind of courage, the kind of innovation, the bright ideas, the out-of-box thinking that he had was realized in the classroom of IIM Ahmedabad. Having seen a movie on him, which was specially arranged by our project head. Learning from the examples of Mahatma Gandhi, when he was thrown out of the train in Johannesburg, even having bought a first-class seat ticket and being a barrister by profession, the way he was thrown out of that first-class room and the words he spoke while lying on the platform of that railway station at Johannesburg, brought that, blood out of your sweat and from your eyes. Looking the torture of the rulers then, it gave goosebumps to hear him and the pledge and the vow, the commitment that he made to fight back and to emerge as a winner. This can happen only at IIM Ahmedabad. Such a live wire, practical study, which is missing across the educational institutions. I've worked for 10 years in higher educations of repute. Two largest universities, one biggest university being the private university in the country today. But such kind of, structured, well organized, oriented, planned, with vision and excellence is still missing in all higher education institutions other than IIMs, I would say. So if you ever get a chance, the way you got, the way my bosses have got, the way Mr. Rajiv Bakshi got a chance, the way Indra Nui got a chance, try and struggle your best to get into one of these. And particularly IIM Ahmedabad, if you could be lucky to learn the best. This is my
what amazing lessons in leadership, sir. Because when I was in the army, I learned on ground about leadership. Thereafter, when I went to IIM Calcutta and I came in the corporate sector, I learned about how a manager functions, the difference between a boss and a leader. So a few points that I thought of were, you would agree with me, I'm 100% sure. A boss says I, a leader says we.
Yeah.
A boss says get there on time. A leader says let's get there together, ahead of time. A boss knows how it is to be done. A leader shows how it is to be done. A boss lets his people know where he stands. A leader lets his people know where they all stand. A boss takes the credit. A leader gives it away. So, sir, Professor Bedi is a born leader, ladies and gentlemen. Sir, I'm so inspired and I'm so influenced by all that you are speaking. Great lesson in management, in leadership I'm learning from you, sir. Sir, tell us about your stint in the corporate sector, be it with PepsiCo, be it with Coca-Cola, be it with Mercedes-Benz. Particularly, I would like to know about Indra Nui because she's been my super senior from my institution, from IIM Calcutta, sir.
Yeah. Well, again, have been extremely fortunate to be, in three of the top multinational companies which are over 100 years. As I said, I have worked in Coca-Cola for 11 long years, PepsiCo for 7 long years, Mercedes-Benz for 6 years. And the learning, these three companies are, having operations in almost all the major countries in the world, and Coca-Cola, as you say, is a very, very powerful marketing, aspirational brand for that matter, who or which inspired even veterans or army officers during World War I and World War II. The American military history, if you see, Coca-Cola did a lot to inspire, military leaders during that time in World War I and World War II, if you go into that. So it's such a strong brand which was very closely associated with Americans for that matter. Okay. And being over 100 years old, all three have evolved systems and processes which are country tested, time tested, and evolution they have created, in trainings, developments, branding, promotion, sales, and so on and so forth. So first is that you got to be extremely privileged to get a chance to work, and not only in one but three. Historically they are very, very, contributing to one's personality. And therefore, my role in Coke was more in sales. My role in PepsiCo was more into marketing, because I also evolved from sales into marketing, into training, into quality. It's a unique cycle. And again, it's a unique cycle. It's a unique circle of perfection, I would call it, in management. initial years as a young sales manager, running around, driving almost 300 kilometers, my vehicle to reach out destinations to inspire teams in sales in Coca-Cola. Marketing is more creative kind of, activity that you create in the market that excels with brilliant ideas when you grow up in the system, having learned of selling the skill, learning the skills of sales and knowing the consumer behavior. You try to create models in marketing, which I did in PepsiCo. And working for Mercedes gave me an opportunity to learn the nuances of, German psyche, which says that we want to give to this world a product which is the best made for the humans. German technology, Mercedes-Benz, though all the three luxury brands, Audi and BMW, are also German, but the kind of image, the branding, the power which Mercedes enjoys is unique. And the Germans want that wherever or whoever you may be on this globe, be it in India or UK or Singapore, the kind of delight that you should have to buy or while buying Mercedes should be world class. They wanted to set those standards. The kind of coffee that is served in a Mercedes showroom is also aspirational, is also a standardized. The what to talk of coffee, but even the coffee beans that are used, the kind of couch or the sofa that you sit has to be of their standard, of their expectation, or client's best, service or delight. The kind of flags that are hoisted there outside, they have to be uniform all across. If there are 35 dealerships in India, the level has to be the same. And the customer delight, the kind of music that will run, the kind of celebration, the ceremony, the cake which would be cut while delivering a car has to be that best. And I was interested with a kind of mandate to create that level of expectations of Germans. And you create that quality. That is through training, motivation, inspiration, and working together. My learning in Coca-Cola was, sales at its best, right. Distribution at its best. There are 3 A's of distribution. 3 A's, I would call it. One is acceptability, when you have to reach arm's reach of desire. See, Coca-Cola has to be available at your arm's reach of desire. Nobody would walk 500 meters to buy Coca-Cola. It should be available at the next shop that you reach, be it grocery, be it bakery or pan bidi shop or whatever. You just walk out of the house, you enter the market, or even if you do not enter the market, there is a petrol pump that you want to get your petrol filled. It should be available there as well. Arm's reach of desire. No, it's a impulsive product. It's a impulsive purchase. It is refreshing. It is visual look. It is first instance that you look chilled and refreshing Coca-Cola lying in a Visi cooler that you see in the summer heat when the temperature is soaring 46 degrees. You want to grab a Coca-Cola just to refresh yourself. And that comes under first A. That is your acceptability of the product. When you drink Coca-Cola, You are assured of its product. You are assured of its brand. You are assured of the fact that the water that is used for it has to be the best. You have to be assured of the fact that a company using water would not have played with environment. And that is an acceptability of the product that is called first A. And the second A is availability. If it is not available, less than your arm's reach of desire, that you just walk out and there is a grocery shop, nobody goes planned to buy Coca-Cola. Nobody would go into the interior market कि मैं ढूंढता जा रहा हूं कपड़ा लेने के लिए. You will go with a plan कि हाँ मैं Reebok के जूते लेने हैं. I have to walk into the showroom of Reebok. और मैंने रेमंड का सूट लेना है तो आई हैव टू गो टू द रेमंड शॉप. बट नोबडी गोज. कोका कोला पीना है तो मैंने कोई ऐसा 5-star होटल में ही जाना है. और प्रोबेबली ऑन द रोड साइड देयर नींबू पानी वाला बेच रहा है, उसने आइस बॉक्स भले रखा हो, बर्फ में कोका कोला लगा हो, उसको भी पूछ लेते हो कि यार ये नींबू पानी के बजाय मेरे को कोका कोला मिल सकता है. एंड माई ड्यूटी एज अ सेल्स एक्सपर्ट वॉज टू मेक श्योर दैट इट वॉज अवेलेबल इवन एट दैट नींबू पानी point also. It was available at petrol pumps also. It was available at Pan Bidi shop also. 7-star hotels also. Wherever I could think. It could, even in a chemist shop, in a non-conventional outlet like a chemist shop, which during my times, it used to hold a fridge for keeping certain medicine and injections. We would even request a chemist owner also to keep 5 or 6 bottles. समटाइम्स मेडिसिन खरीद रहे होते हैं पेरेंट्स, बच्चा कहता है कि वो मैंने कोका कोला देखा है तो मेरे को एक कोक की बोतल मिल सकती है. एवरी अपॉर्चुनिटी हैज टू बी ग्रैब्ड. सो दैट वाज acceptability, availability, making sure that distribution is at its best, and third is affordability. It should be available at a price where everybody, even a rickshaw puller or a CEO of a company, can afford to buy. In 1995, I remember Don W. Schott, the world head of Coca-Cola, visited Chandigarh market, and I was head of 3 states, Punjab, Haryana, and Himachal, in sales. 1995. So he got down at Chandigarh railway station because he was being brought from Delhi. And the moment he got down, he instead of accompanying us on the planned route that we were supposed to take him, he just went behind the railway station into a ready market. And Coke then was sold at, 300 ml bottle was at 8 rupees.
Right, sir.
So I'm just giving you their vision, their mindset, their thought process. So once he went into that ready market or slum market or whatever you call it, वहां पे चना भटूरा 10 रुपए के 3 मिल रहे थे in 1995. और कोक की बोतल 300 ml की 8 रुपए की थी. Now this gentleman, the world head Coca-Cola, Don W. Schott, उसके साथ मेरी पिक्चर्स हैं, बहुत जबरदस्त पिक्चर्स हैं. और he was the one who would run for 14-15 kilometers every day. चंडीगढ़ में भी आया तो he ran for that many kilometers in the morning. He was addicted or obsessed with running in the morning and freaking fit, fit like a fiddle. Now he's an advisor still to Coca-Cola company at this age of probably 75 years. Now this gentleman comes back from that market and he tells us, roll back the price of Coke from 8 rupees for 300 ml to just 5 rupees. for 300 ml. Why? He said, in a country like India, in a place like Punjab, or for that matter, Chandigarh, if one can make one's meal available for 10 rupees, अगर उसको एक 3 चना भटूरा 10 रुपए का मिल रहा है, तो कोका कोला 8 रुपए का महंगा है, इसको 5 रुपए करिएगा. बट देन देयर इज अ स्टोरी बिहाइंड. वो बजाय के उसको कुछ देर के लिए उसके ऑर्डर पे वो 8 रुपए का हमने 5 रुपए तो कर दिया 300 ml का. बट the economy of scale and also the corporate decision was taken कि बजाय 800 ml कोका कोला को 500 करें, हम एक नया इंट्रोड्यूस करेंगे 200 ml कोका कोला at 5 rupees.
Okay, yes, right.
And this is how the 200 ml Coca Cola came into existence and was born as a product. You know,
Right.
and see that is your affordability factor. So my learning,
It's like the story of Colgate, sir. Colgate में when Colgate had come out in the, I think early 80s में इन्होंने इंट्रोड्यूस किया कि ये चलेगा आपको एक ट्यूब 30 दिन एंड लंबा चलेगा. सो लंबा चल रहा था. सो जाहिर सी बात है द सेल्स स्टार्ट डिमिनिशिंग, डिप्लीटिंग, कि भाई अगर लंबा चल रहा है तो आपकी कंज्यूमेबिलिटी भी कम होगी ना उसमें. यू विल गो द मार्केट लेस ऑफन. देन अ यंग ब्राइट माइंड सेड इसका जो एग्जिट होल है कोलगेट का उसको आप बड़ा कर दो, तो जाहिर सी बात है कि थोड़ा सा भी आप इस्तेमाल करेंगे ज्यादा निकलेगा उसमें. तो
innovation,
एक महीना चल रहा है वो चलेगा 25 दिन 22 दिन 20 दिन.
innovation, out of box thinking. See these leaders, these corporate leaders are amazing. See, every CEO reads more than 200 books in a year. They're learning. See, he could be a management guru, but he's learning physics, sometimes. He's reading books on physics, friction, torque, surface tension. They want diversity, and we are again back into that circle in a higher institutions where, this latest policy, the new education policy is advocating that I could be an engineer. However, as my interest could be into history, historically, how has engineering played its part? What was, this mechanical revolution? How did the wheel start? Reinventing the wheel. Historically, also engineering is, connected. That wheel of history. How diverse, and I have heard people saying now in higher institutions where they are saying an engineering graduate can also show interest in geography. There could be dual degree system. And that is my learning from these corporates. PepsiCo, my stint in PepsiCo was the best while learning marketing, which I was handling from Delhi to Jammu and Kashmir. There is something called, visual index, that is called visual. I used to travel from Delhi to Amritsar on GT Road, National Highway 1. And by looking at the red and blue, because Pepsi was blue and Coke was red, I would count that if there are 100 dhabas on my way and 70 are bright red and 30 are blue, by the evening I could count my index, 7:3. And my bosses in Pepsi would say, okay, just reverse it. You got to paint 7 dhabas blue and let the remaining 3 remain red. That is why visual impact or marketing index and something. And then we work backward, to make sure that all our tie-ups are with Pepsi. This is and implementation and running. It's like a warfare. You being in the army, probably prepare for a war, at a level where you are at your best. However, we have seen corporate war happening between Coca-Cola and Pepsi almost every day.
सर आपके साथ गुफ्तगू में 1 घंटा कहाँ बीता मालूम नहीं पड़ा. It just time just flies with you, sir. So much to learn from you. So
Yeah.
much to learn from you.
So it's a corporate world. See, learnings are amazing, and you are fortunate to be with such leaders who are beyond that threshold of time, energy, brilliance, excellence, and all that. And this comes from reading, watching.
Absolutely, sir. You're right. So before we wind up, sir, would like to know your stint as an academician in education. How has the journey of the last decade been for you, sir? Be it at Chitkara University, be it at lovely professional university.
It's again amazing and phenomenal, I would say. When I joined Chitkara, I was coming from the corporate world, and the management thought, see, I was to come back to my native town from the corporate, from Pune. And whosoever I could see there, they had the placement head, they had their admissions head, they had their academic head, they had their administrative head. But they wanted to make a head of something which they did not know it themselves. You know, and wherever I have been, touch wood, my aura, my impression, my connect has been so magnetic that they never wanted to even miss or lose me also as a human resource. So they put the question into my mouth. Instead of asking any question in the interview, they put me the challenge in my thought process. Mr. Bedi, how would you create excellence, or how would you contribute to Chitkara? And my only answer was that I am driven by passion, which is my sales and marketing. And I am confident by my experience, which is foolproof. My learning has been phenomenal in the corporate world. So I conceived an idea which I believed and achieved so fast. C plus B is equal to A. I suggested them to open a college of sales and marketing, which was not existing there at all, because they were focusing on engineering. And unfortunately, in a country like ours, there are 15 lakh engineers graduating, and there are only 3 lakh jobs for engineers, the right jobs that are actually meant for engineers, against 15 lakh graduates. So what are these 12 lakh surplus engineers going to do? They will look for jobs here and there. Some would, pay back their loans by working in call centers, and the level of engineers has fallen down drastically, because we are only catering. The need is only 3 lakhs. We are producing 15 lakhs. So I gave them an idea about 10 years back, saying, you empower these graduates. Everybody is inspirational to buy Reebok shoes, the branded clothes, the Satya Paul tie, Raymond clothes.
Sir.
Everybody, particularly after this, cable TV, advertisement, world shrinking in the bedroom. Everybody is aspirational. I may be working, may not be working, but I need to put in the best of shoes, Aldo. So I told them, empower simple graduates in a country which is having demographic dividend advantage today. 65% of the population less than 35 years of age. Graduates, BCom, BBA, BSc, BCA, and so forth. Not only engineers. उनको करवाओ sales and marketing. Get them jobs. और इसकी फीस थोड़ी सी कम रखो.
Absolutely, sir.
अगेंस्ट अ फ्लैगशिप एमबीए 10 लाख देके वो 10 लाख की फीस देके एमबीए की वो कहता है मेरी लाख रुपए की नौकरी लगनी चाहिए एस्पिरेशनल आई सेड कीप इट लो 3-4 लाख में एमबीए करवाइए और इसको 30-40 हजार की सेल्स फर्स्ट जॉब करवाइए एंड आई वुड बी द फर्स्ट faculty member of my college. I started with 15 students, hand-picked students looking into their passion and interest in sales and marketing and their
Really commendable, sir. Really commendable.
And my
You are a true inspiration, and your journey has been commendable. There's so much to talk to. I wish I could be more in conversation with you, sir. Unfortunately,
and let me finish that those
Yes,
15 driven by my intense passion to turn them into professional sales executives and managers. Now that same college is having more than 450 students being inducted with a revenue of more than 20 crores getting that college here, of MBA sales and marketing. That is the success story in academics. Thank you so much.
Sir, thank you, sir. It's been such a pleasure speaking to you, sir. I wish I could go on, and I can go on listening to you, and our viewers can go on listening to you. So much to learn from you. We'll have one more session, sir. I unfortunately have to sign up to a session with Major Gaurav Aryan, of my seniors from the army, and we have a lot in common. He's also a defense analyst. I am also a defense analyst. I've been inspired by him. He's my mentor in a way. We had a long chat yesterday. So people are, I think, so unfortunately, we'll have to end this session over here, sir, with you. But it was
absolutely. See, the pleasure was indeed mine. Thank you very much, Major Ali, for such a brilliant opportunity. God bless you, and more power to you. And keep doing the work the way you do. God bless you, and thank you.
Thank you very much for taking your time, sir. Truly appreciate, sir. Thank you.
Bye bye. Take care. Bye.
Thank you, sir. सुना दोस्तों, आपने प्रोफेसर बेदी साहब की कहानी, उनकी ज़बानी जबरदस्त कहानी है. इंस्पिरेशन फॉर एवरी सिंगल पर्सन इन दिस वर्ल्ड, नॉट जस्ट इन इंडिया. सो गो अहेड, आग लगा दो दोस्तों, शेयर इट ऑल ओवर. You all will benefit, you all will gain richly from his experience, from his immense knowledge. Sir, thank you very much, and Jai Hind, sir.
Thank you so much, and God bless you. Thank you so much. Bye bye. Take care. Bye.
Bye, sir. Bye, sir. Good day, sir.